everybody, welcome to Attack Gaming. I'm Skyland Shore, and today we're going to be talking about Shards of War, and this is going to be my first impression. So, Shards of War is an action MOBA, and what that means is that, well, it's basically action-focused. You're going to be using the WASD keys to move around, and you're going to be aiming with the mouse to shoot. And every single person in this game is a long-range user. They are basically marksmen. But you still do have tanks, you still do have supports, you still do have these assassins. It's just, you know, it's kind of based around guns and that aesthetic, and the control scheme actually totally matches that. However, let's go ahead and, say that's really cool and everything, but there's already some problems right there. It's not completely aim-based. It's more like you hover over somebody and your gun goes to it. Your shots, I believe, can be intercepted, but at the same time, it's basically similar to what you see in League of Legends. You aim your mouse, you click, and then you kill people. Well, you actually hover over it and then you hold down the mouse button. It's not exactly click to move, or it seems like it's really fluid, and that's cool from a gameplay perspective, but from the actual real mechanics and from a competitive perspective, that's not how it really works. You can't miss minions, really. I mean, you have to be really off. If your mouse is kind of slightly near a minion, it'll just kind of zoom in and home in on that minion. Now, if you understand what I'm saying, now you get it. It's a little bit gimmicky. So, speaking of gimmicks, a lot of the MOBA features in this game don't really seem, I guess, fleshed out. Like, there is a jungle where you can kill little robots and get buffs and stuff. There are turrets, but really, the game isn't really emphasized as a MOBA. I honestly feel like this action real-time strategy game should have focused more on the battle arenas, kind of like ZAM did. But ZAM, I didn't really feel too good about that game either. I think this game could be really good. Now, I know a lot of German YouTubers are advertising the game. I know that it's an okay game. It definitely is. I could say I enjoyed it. I didn't super duper love it. I'm not in love with it. I still feel like it needs a lot of polish. It doesn't run as good as it could. There's the kits are cool though. I do like the kits. If any one of these kits were to make it into League of Legends, I'd be pretty stoked. I have to admit. Now, it's no Thresh, I can say, but overall, like, if you play just one of the characters, it's fun, but if you play more than one character, they start to kind of blend together. They start to feel very, very similar. They all have kind of similar mechanics. Now, I think my favorite role in this particular game is the support, because I feel like mobility abilities are really, like, sticky. Like, doing lots of different things at one time, like you could see with Lee Sin or Yasuo in League of Legends, it just feels really sticky. So, I think it's just better for this game if you just kind of sit back, relax, just kind of shoot some people, support your teammates. But if you're trying to play as one of the assassins, which is normally my favorite role to play, it gets really sticky, it's kind of awkward, and I'm not a fan of it. But overall, you know, the aesthetic, if you enjoy this kind of aesthetic, this post-apocalyptic, way post-modern, futuristic kind of styling, if you like that, you're probably going to enjoy this game. I enjoyed this MOBA a little bit more than ZAM, because ZAM was really, really clunky. This game is only slightly clunky, but it still is clunky. Even, you know, for a battle MOBA, which we would expect to be really, really fluid like we see in Smite, it's not quite there. I think that probably, I don't know, Bloodline Champions, stuff like that might do it better. But go ahead and try this game out because it is pretty unique. Now, there are a couple of other battle MOBAs that are, you know, focusing on range combat. They're coming out. So this might be one of the ones that competes with it. It might come out on top. It might not. I think it's definitely worth a try, though. Shards of War, go try it. It's for free right now. Go try it out. It looks really cool. But guys, let's talk about some of these smaller things. Okay, so this game, kind of similar to Heroes of the Storm. You don't level up individually, you don't level up your abilities, and this kind of goes back to saying like how a lot of the MOBA tropes that we're used to in MOBA games, they're kind of watered down and simplistic, which is good in a battle MOBA, but it depends if you like that or not. So in this game, your team levels up together, you don't level up individually, but you're not leveling up your skills individually. I believe there is a shop. I didn't actually get to touch it, but because it just auto-purchased items for me, so it's like Smite, and I don't know if that's how the game is built completely. Like, there might basically be no shop system, but I do know at the very beginning you do get your items purchased for you, which is pretty interesting. So it's like Smite. It's easy to get into. I was able to jump in and play. It was pretty fun. You know, if you get a couple of friends on and go have some fun for a weekend, I definitely think it's worth that. But you don't level up your abilities individually, and your whole team levels up together. So you just gotta understand what that is, understand what kind of gameplay style that will tailor to, and go in. So very similar to Strife or Heroes of the Storm, it's extremely easy to get back into fights. So League of Legends, if you're really low on health, you basically have to go all the way back to base. Same thing with Dota 2, and then you gotta come all the way back into your lane. In this game, no, you just kind of walk back to your tower and then you heal very, very quickly. Also, the recall is very, very quick, and it's also, this game is just very easy to get out, live. Lots of times you can escape with like 1 HP basically, walk out, because the mobility in this game isn't really there. Even though everything is really ranged, there's just not a whole lot of mobility to chase you down. So it's really, really easy to just kind of WASD your way out. You can juke really easily through the jungle. And, you know, overall, I think the game really could do with a lot more mobility. I think there needs to be a lot less stickiness too with some of these abilities. Like a lot of these abilities I want to use like multiple at a time because they would just really combo well together. But a lot of the times, for instance, on this one character, he's a tank, you have to set up a stun before you leap, or leap and then set up the stun. But because it's a timed stun, it's just really awkward. You want to do both at the same time so that they can't see it coming, but you have to do one before the other. It's just really, really awkward, and I'm not a fan of that. So MOBA, what I believe what makes a MOBA is the character kits, which is why I play League of Legends, Dota, and Smite. I think the kits are the best, hands down, in any other MOBA. They're definitely the most fun for what they are. Now this game, since this is kind of basically a new type of genre of MOBA, I think this is actually pretty cool. It's definitely the best one in the genre that I've played so far. But if you guys have anything to say about it, you're probably leaving in the comments what you think is the best, and gladly, please tell us at Attack Gaming. We want to know, we want to play these games. Thanks for watching. I'm Skylant Shore. This was Shards of War. It was pretty cool. Definitely give it a try. We'll see you later. I'm Skylant Shore. Welcome back, Attack. And today we're looking at Wakfu. Now, Wakfu is a Flash-based MMORPG. They actually have another game called Dofus, and this is the sequel to that MMO. So this is a strategy game. You're going to be moving on tiles. It is a tile-based MMO, isometric view, and you're going to be moving on these tiles. And that also means for the combat, it's turn-based.